This is James with the lovely Dani, James Lomenzo from the fabulous Hal Band, and you are watching Lokaos Rock Show. Rockin' on. Woo!
Está aqui com o James Lomenzo. Eles tocaram aqui no Blackmore. Hi, how are you?
I am good, Dani. How you doing besides looking sexy?
Thank you, enjoying the show. Yeah. And what do you think about playing with all those people crazy for your music?
Now, you know what? South America, especially Brazil, Sao Paulo, has always been off the hook. I've been down here with Megadeth many times.
Yes.
And it's expected. You know, we bring together the metal community. And we all worship at the same altar. And me being a fan of all this music as well as a performer of the music, I feel the same thing the fans feel in a very exciting way. So this is great to be in a little club again, packed together like sardines. You guys rocked.
And your first big band was White Lion, right? And had a lot of success in that hair metal trend and the 80s.
I still have some left.
Yeah, in the 80s and beginning of 90s. How do you remember those times?
Well, I'm going to ask you how you remember it, because I think you were probably in diapers at the time, right?
Yes, I was born in '88.
Yikes! So, anyway, no, you know what? It was a different world in a kind of a strange way. It's funny, we were in Blackmore's tonight. We're at the club Blackmore's tonight. And an interesting story, before I was in White Lion, I used to play with a guy named Bobby Rondinelli who played in Rainbow, drummer in Rainbow, and Ray Gillen was our lead singer, and Bobby's brother was the guitar player. But on weekends, I would play with Richie Blackmore and with Bobby Rondinelli in a three-piece band. I was the singing bass player. And we used to play at clubs in Connecticut. So it's it, there he is. You know, so that was exciting, but that was before White Lion. So when I joined White Lion a couple of years later, I thought they were great. I'd seen them before. They'd been through a lot of bass players previously. And the first thing they said was, okay, we're going to Germany to record an album. And I thought, well, I've never been to Germany before. So it seemed like a good opportunity, and it was amazing how quickly it took off. And that kind of success in the 80s, I mean, there's a few of us that got to experience it, and it was very big in a very strange, kind of surreal, you know what I mean, surreal way. So it was great. I'm blessed, I'm fortunate. I'm glad it stopped, though, because it's not quite real.
And how do you see the return of the band with only Mike Tramp from the original members?
I love Mike, okay, so I'm glad that he's out making music. I don't necessarily see it as White Lion as much as Mike Tramp, but Mike Tramp was a giant part of White Lion. So, I mean, he sounds perfect singing the White Lion songs because it's recognizable. We've talked many times about getting together and putting the band together. I know Vito has no interest in doing it whatsoever, and that's fine, that's his prerogative. We haven't closed the door on it yet, so we're still trying to negotiate. So hopefully, before we end up in wheelchairs and long hair. Wheelchairs and long hair will look pretty, but, you know, we'll do it.
And from White Lion to Pride and Glory, I totally...
Danny's got it all hooked up.
From White Lion to Pride and Glory, a totally different musical proposal. How did you face this change?
Well, no, it was a very easy change because I met Zakk Wylde when he was playing in Ozzy Osbourne's band. White Lion had opened up for Ozzy Osbourne along with a band named Vixen from the A's, which is all females, very lovely like yourself. And Zakk and I just were kindred spirits, like we recognized a certain thing in each other. So maybe it was just alcoholism, I'm not sure. But no, it wasn't. But we ended up going out to clubs together and grab, you know, back then there was a lot of live music. And so whenever we travel into different towns, we would get together on stage and ask them to borrow their guitars, more like wrench the guitars out of their hands, and then we would play together. And that was the first time that Zakk and I had played together. And we hit it off like that, you know. And so it was a natural progression after White Lion had finished up for Zakk and I to get together and start the band Pride and Glory.
And why the band released only one album, since it had a lot of success?
Well, part of the word success in English is suck, okay? You can't have success without suck. Now, where does suck come from? There was business problems. So, you know, it was mismanaged in a lot of ways. Musically, it was very pure. Business-wise, it wasn't a good thing. So I'm very sad about that because it was a good music band.
Yeah, it was.
I still see Brian Tichy, the drummer from Pride and Glory, almost every week. He's a good friend of mine. So,
really?
yeah.
And you didn't record Slash Snakepit, but you touring with them. And did you feel pressure for being touring with ex-Guns N' Roses member when they had just been through their most successful moment?
Well, no, and I'll tell you why. Because when White Lion was double platinum, we had a party in Los Angeles, and Duff and Izzy were in attendance. So it was kind of like I looked at them as peers, even though they were very successful, and I was aware of that. When, you know, as everybody traveled back in those days, it seemed like everybody was successful. They became very big. But no, it wasn't at that point. Like I said, you know, I played with Richie Blackmore before White Lion, so for me, intimidation wasn't never a thing. And it turned out that Slash was a beautiful human being, someone who loves music, which is a great inspiration, and somebody who's very easy to get along with. So it was all great, you know, it was all great. And he's one of those people. There's only a couple in my life that when you're with him, he feels more like a rock star than everybody else in the room, present company included. So that was kind of fun.
Okay. And Zakk Wylde's Book of Shadow was like a continuation of Pride and Glory.
It really was, except that we had Joe Vitale from from Joe Walsh's band playing drums. And that was one of those things. After I finished with Slash, Zakk called me up and he said, you know, I'm doing this record and you know, I really think you'd be good on it, and so come meet me at the studio. And we basically in a couple of weeks did all the tracks for that. And I thought, to me, that's my favorite record that Zakk Wylde ever did musically.
Oh, really?
Just because it shows a big range for him, you know. And some of the music on that's beautiful, and it was well produced, and it sounded good. So I was very proud and happy to be part of that. Yeah.
And how was working with someone so eccentric as Dave Lee Roth?
You're crazy. She knows everything. Sometimes I forget.
I'm here to remember.
Here, somebody's here to help me. All right, Danny, people out there. David Lee Roth is the most amazing person I probably worked with in that when he gets on the stage seems twice as big as it was before he was there. He really has that. A lot like Slash, loves music, and so also loves his musicians. And so he really made you feel important with him, and he made you more creative. So it was a wonderful experience. We went out with Sammy Hagar's band and did a summer in the United States called the Sam and Dave Tour, which is kind of funny because it's an old band, Sam and Dave from the 60s. And we played the classic Van Halen set, and Sammy Hagar played the Sammy Hagar set. And that was a great show because the audience got to do everything, and I got to play in yet another great cover band. Yeah. You know.
And after some years, you came back working with Zakk Wylde. But this time playing with Black Label Society. What changed from these times to this new phase?
Well, okay. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So anyway, what happened with that was I had moved unwittingly. I didn't know. I moved right up the street from where Zakk lived. Okay? I found it out and I gave him a phone call and said, hey man, how you doing? We haven't spoken in a couple of years. And he goes, oh, wow. So he comes over, and it was very funny because I just bought a house and I was putting up a fence so that my little Chihuahua dogs couldn't run down the hill. And so Zakk said, oh, I'll be right over. He brings a case of beer and we start reminiscing and having fun and all that. The fence never got finished for another 3 weeks. But anyway, one morning he shows up with Craig Nunemacher, the drummer, and he said, you know, I'm going to the studio, we're going to do a record, come with me. And it was just like that, you know, so we just went in and I think we did Book of Shadows, which was the first one. And then before I knew it, I didn't even know I was in the band, and all of a sudden you go, all right, we're going on tour. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm in this band now, right? So, yeah, so that went on for 4 years. Yeah.
And when you joined Megadeth, did you feel pressure coming from fans for your being replacing a member that was since the beginning by Mustaine's side?
So Jimmy McDonough was playing bass, and I guess Dave wanted to make a change at the time. And so a friend of mine from a guitar company suggested me. And it was like that. Now, the pressure that I felt wasn't from the fans, because I knew what Megadeth was, and I knew David Ellefson's work and all that stuff, but he hadn't been in the band for many years. So I didn't feel that pressure, but their music is it's complicated. You know, and I'm pretty much free-flowing.
Yeah.
So that was the only pressure I felt, was to be able to learn a lot of those songs in a very short period of time, to learn 30 songs in less than a month. So that was the pressure I felt, but after that, you know, Dave was a great guy, you know, he made me feel very welcome. The other guys in the band were very cool guys, and a month after learning all the songs, we were in Dubai, which is very cool. We're in the desert playing Holy Wars. So, and then, you know, I guess that was another 4 years, I suppose, you know, and that was a great run. I met some wonderful people here in Sao Paulo and all over South America and all over the world. So they have, Megadeth has the best fans in the world. I will tell you that straight away. That's one thing that I take with me. And some of them have actually followed me to my Facebook and everything like that, which is great, because I stay in touch with them, you know, so that's great.
And what's your main project nowadays? It's Hail or Hideous Sun Demons?
Well, I haven't done the Hideous Sun Demons for a while. Ray Luzier is in Korn, so he's very busy, and Toshi Iketa's back in Japan, so he's very busy. Musically, I do Hail as fun. You know, it's not an occupation. I played with Dio's Disciples last year. Rudy Sarzo couldn't make it. I played with George Lynch's Lynch Mob. And a lot of that is I'm the person that everybody knows they can call, and I'll be able to do a good job on stage, but I don't really have a band right now. I've actually started a business in Los Angeles where I do video work, you know? Yeah, we produce things for companies that make pedals and guitar things and stuff. And
you want to produce our show?
Well, I don't think I need to. He has the good rig. You have the great mic.
We can replace him.
Oh my God, you see what she's trying to do to you, man? He's steadfast. I like him. He didn't even twitch. No, I don't want to produce your show. I think you're doing great. You got that. That's the first thing I bought when I started the production company. It was a little
really?
tag. Yeah.
No, we just bought it like months ago.
It's exciting. We're promoting the show. But anyway, I do that stuff, but also I get to play music, so I get to do the most. You know, I get to do creative stuff here and there. So this is a good time for me, because it's the first time I've actually had time to expand things I'm interested in. I'm making music with a lot of people. A lot of it's over the internet, some of it is speculative, you know, and a lot of it is just really exciting stuff. So over the next year, I expect to have a lot of projects out. That's what I'm working on right now.
Thank you very much.
I love it, Dani. Thank you for having me
here.
Thank you all for coming down to Blackmore's tonight, if you did. If you didn't, you missed something kind of cool, because we had Andreas Kisser, we had Tim Ripper Owens, and we had my buddy Paul Bostaff, and we just ripped it up, and the crowd ripped it up. And we hope to see you, but I'm going to let her sign off, because it's really her show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.